top of that building, really high up in the sky. Don't look now, look, he's falling. Well, I sure hope that he can fly. Peter, we know fiction isn't fair. You were the best one. Well, did you have to cut your hair? Don't scream, deafening silence. You turn the black night into red. Well, it's so cold that I can't hear the voice inside my head. Peter, we know fiction isn't fair. You were the best one. Well, did you have to cut your hair? You exploded at the end of season 1. Oh, Peter, looks like it all went wrong. I've gotta run, but people call.
1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
'Cause you exploded at the end of season 1. Oh, Peter, looks like it all went wrong. Oh, Peter, we know fiction isn't fair. You were the best one. Well, did you have to cut your hair? You exploded at the end of season 1. Oh, Peter, looks like it all went wrong. Oh, Peter. Oh, Peter. Oh, Peter.
Never heard anything that sounded more like a hit than that. That's wonderful. That's the Wonder Villains, a group from Derry, Stoke, Londonderry, actually. And that's a song called, what's it called? It's called Oh Peter. No, it's not called that, is it? Let me see. Hold on, check. You should think I would know that. This is from a CD, a double CD, which has just been released. I don't think it's even out yet. It's Music Northern Ireland 2010. And it's a real revelation. Revelation.
I know, but what do you mean? It's a CD that's just out, but it's not released.
Because I just got it this morning and I'm looking at it.
Well, it's not out then. If it's not, is it released?
Well,
It's sent to you as a
stop
promo.
that. It's sent to me and it said this is a promotional compilation,
right.
and I'm not sure if it's out yet. Maybe somebody would tell me. It's Northern Ireland Music 2001, and it's really is a revelation. Revelation. Why can I not say revelation?
don't know.
Revelation. Good morning, everyone. The number to ring. How are you today?
Me?
Yes.
I think I'm all right, but I'm still mystified at something you said earlier in the office.
Okay.
And I've been doing my sums, and I can't work it out.
Go ahead. What is it?
You said you had 8 beds in your house.
In my bedroom.
8 beds.
8 beds. Yes. You see,
How can you have 8 beds, and even in your house?
Well, let me just explain to the people who are probably waiting for a radio program. My name is Gerald Anderson. Him in there is Coilus Interruptus.
Your mother and father would have a bed.
Yes, they had a bed.
Right.
That's how I arrived.
Yes, that's and seven beds.
No, but you're not giving me a chance to explain.
You have a bed.
Let me just say, no, hold on. Let's bring the listeners in gently. Good morning, everyone. This is a kind of an odd program. I sometimes talk to him and he sometimes asks me questions that I can't answer. I sometimes talk about things that other people don't understand, that he doesn't understand. Sometimes I talk about things that are generally understood and sometimes I don't. There's nothing in this program that is planned or indeed makes any sense. So I'll say to you now, if you want to contact this program to make no sense, the number to ring is 08459. Is that my...
555.
Because I sometimes give my mobile number by mistake, which is always a mistake. 08459 555 678. Email address is jerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk. And the text messaging service for those of you who wished you were born somewhere else is 81771. Let me explain. For reasons best known to myself, and I have no idea how this happened, but I did see an indication of it in the 1920, the census of 1901, I think it was.
Was that 13?
No, 19. Well, what was whatever the census was.
Right. Anyway,
I remember. I didn't
11?
look it up. My son looked it up. And anyway, what I'm trying to say is this: that we were very poor people, much like yourself. We didn't have anything, and but for some strange reason, we lived in a big house.
Yes, we know that.
No, but you see, in the centre of the city, and the landlord spent his entire life trying to get us out of it.
Yes.
Because we shouldn't have been there. And I don't know how we were there. We were paying rent, of course. We didn't belong to us. But I look back in the census, and there were Andersons there a very, very long time ago. So I think basically that what happened was that, well, I talked about this before. Somebody was let loose amongst the help. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I think we were a kind of a family that had means, because my granny used to do the silver service every afternoon at 4:00. She was relics of old decency. Do you understand what I'm saying? So somewhere back in my past, we had money, right? But then something happened. I think Catholics came in. You see, and then the whole thing went to pieces. But anyway, we were left in this house, and the fella tried to get us out. So we had no money at all. Like, we were very poor. But we had big, huge bedrooms. So my mother decided that she would take in what used to call boarders or lodgers. And across our street, there was a factory which employed 1,500 women, half of which came from outlying districts, and half of which didn't want to go home every night because there were no dance halls in the outlying districts and no American and British sailors. You see, so what they wanted was some place to stay that wasn't too dear, that you could say, I can't be bogging home at night. It's far better for me to stay here because then I'm near my work. And they go to a dance every single night, go home with an American or a Dutch sailor. Never into our house, I might add. Never, no hanky-panky. So we had girls and girls and girls, and that's why I am today. That's why I'm wrecked and ruined
Then
today.
how come the sailor got into bed in your house if there was no hanky-panky?
I'm just waiting for this, okay? I'm waiting for this. I was waiting for you to ask me that. I'll get to this point. So whatever happened was that all these girls used to stay in this big room upstairs and about 8 beds in it. Okay?
In one room?
Yeah. It was like kind of a dormitory thing, but they loved it.
I couldn't.
It was a huge room.
There's no way there's 8 beds in a house.
Yes, it was a huge room.
Janet says no.
Janet says no, but she doesn't even know
Not
what
8
kind of
rooms, not 8 beds
big,
in one room.
huge, big attic room.
No, not 8
Huge-
beds.
I'm telling
Would they
you.
be single beds? A settle bed or a single bed? Would they be
beds for 8 people.
what, a double beds?
4 double beds, yeah.
Oh, so now it's 4 double beds. So it's only 4
8 beds. I mean, accommodation for 8 people. What do you want? Do you want me to sign a contract? Do you want me to kind of...
No, but you said there were 8 beds.
Well, I mean, eight beds, an 8 bedroom.
Right,
Okay.
and you said this morning that you slept in each bed.
Yeah.
Well,
See, whenever
what about the factory girls?
the girls went away then, you see, there was a downturn, and whatever happened was that we stopped taking lodgers.
I think he's making this up. I think you're making this up. We should go along.
And I had all the beds, so I used to sleep in a different bed every night. I'm the same today,
You wish.
but for entirely other reasons. Anyway, do you know what I was thinking? I was brought back to those days when I was in a Chinese carryout the other day, standing, and I was looking at the menu that's up on the wall,
Yes.
and it says, and I think I may have talked about this before, but I was reminded of it again, and I saw it again, and I heard the same thing again. Apparently, when you're getting a chicken curry, right? Mm-hmm. If you get white chicken, it's more expensive than brown chicken. Did you know that?
No.
Well, it is. If you say chicken curry there,
Use the breast.
no, they don't say that. This I'm coming to, and it says on the menu, it says white chicken, 30p extra.
That's rice.
No, it's not. White chicken.
rice.
It says white chicken and brown
Janet?
chicken. So and so late. Say like $5.50 for chicken curry with brown chicken, with white chicken 30p extra, right? So, so I'm looking at that, and I say, that's great. So coincidentally, when I was there, a woman came in and said, "Have a chicken curry, please?" And the fellow says, "What kind of chicken do you want?" And she says, "I'll just have ordinary chicken."
I've never heard of that. Did you,
I'm
Janet?
telling you.
Janet
Janet.
says she never heard of it either.
Do you know why you two of you never heard of it?
No.
You never go out anywhere, sitting lying on TV, watching, drinking brandy.
But I never heard of that 30 pence for a...
All right then, okay.
Sure, it's all mixed up.
It's not mixed up. There's white chicken, but what I'm saying is, what is ordinary chicken? Ordinary chicken is brown chicken, right?
No, ordinary
So
chicken's
white
white chicken.
No. Ordinary chicken.
It's white chicken.
No.
Yes.
Extraordinary chicken is dearer. Do you understand what I'm saying? You mean to say
Ordinary-
you pay more for ordinary chicken than extraordinary chicken? So extraordinary chicken is white chicken and ordinary chicken is brown chicken. That's what I'm asking you. Which is which? If you ask for ordinary chicken, you imply that you want the inferior chicken, which is the cheaper chicken, which is the brown chicken. So the white chicken is extraordinary chicken. The next time you see a chicken go down the road, you say, "Excuse me, are you ordinary or extraordinary?"
Did you
Say
ever
that.
hear of that, Janet?
No,
Never-
you've
you ever
never
hear
heard
of
of
chicken?
anything. No, you just don't go out.
Chicken, brown chicken and white chicken?
Yeah.
But dearer and cheaper?
Yeah.
And a Chinese restaurant?
Chinese.
Yeah.
Is it?
A white chicken curry.
Yeah.
White chicken.
A white chicken curry?
Yeah. But she has ordinary chicken curry.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have never heard of
That's
that.
because you don't go out. You should get off the golf course sometime and see how the other people live. Have a listen to this.
What about the wee phone call?
What phone call? Is the one here?
Rose is on one.
I didn't know about that. Hello, morning, Rose. By any other name, you'd be twice as sweet.
Listen, I'm Rose, and I'm sick and tired of listening to chicken.
I'm sorry, we just had to get that clear because a lot
No,
of people out there.
no. Chicken is chicken.
No.
Chicken, white chicken, breast chicken.
No.
Chicken's chicken.
No, you see, you may be a middle class kind of a person, or maybe may I
Well,
say
I would
upper
be,
middle
but-
class. You see, there's a whole world there, a subculture. It's what's called working class, the way we live. And brown chicken is cheaper than white chicken, and that's one of those
And
things
it still tastes lovely.
it's all lovely. I don't see the difference between brown chicken. I mean, what are you going to do? Wear a pair of sunglasses, you know?
Listen,
Yes.
I'm Rose
Yes,
from
you are.
the now defunct Singles Nights.
Look, Rose, how are you? I know how you are now. How's your wee daughter, your lovely wee daughter?
Oh, she's married and she's
Zoe.
She's lovely.
Has she any children yet?
No, not yet.
That's okay.
No, not yet. But
All
I
right then.
can't go there.
All right
I can't
then,
go there.
stop.
Well,
All
listen.
right.
I have got two reasons for speaking to you.
Yes.
One is very serious,
Yes.
and the other is a very light-hearted.
Okay, right.
Okay. Can I get through to the serious stuff?
Okay, go ahead.
Right. From I saw you last, I have been diagnosed with multiple blood clots on both lungs.
What does that mean, Rose?
It means that I could have a heart attack, or
Okay, yeah.
I could have, I could have, hemorrhage to the brain.
Okay, right, yeah.
And what I want to say to you, Gerry, was that if there's anybody else who's out there who has the same problem, I would love to speak to them, because it's a very rare thing.
You sound a bit worried about it.
I am a bit worried about it.
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't know.
Sure.
Well, I've been told that I've been very lucky that I could still be here on this planet.
Well, what have they told you? I mean, do you have to look after yourself? Are there certain things you can't do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to be very careful about. I have to inject myself every day.
Okay. all right. So tell
have
me,
to-
what is that again, Rose? Just to repeat that for the benefit of people who maybe didn't catch that.
Right. It's multiple blood clots on
Okay.
both lungs.
All right then, okay. So anyone who has got a similar condition, you would like
I
to talk
would
to them?
love to hear from them,
Okay.
because it's a very rare condition.
Well, what does the doctor say? Is there a real danger there, or
Oh,
just
it's life threatening.
oh dear. All right then.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I have to inject myself every day with blood.
Yeah,
Thinning.
blood thinners, basically. I
Yeah.
would imagine.
But apart from that, I'm grand.
Apart from that, you're
Apart from
fine.
that, I'm grand. And listen, I listened last night to your. I've just got a new laptop, and I listened last night to your story about the Crumlin Road jail.
Was that on last night?
Well, no, yes,
Oh no, you got it. It was the playback thing. Ah, right.
Gerry, are you real?
Well, I hope so.
Listen, it frightened me to death.
Oh, you want to be where I was? I have to just recap for the benefit of people who don't know that we did a series of
Okay,
programs one
okay.
time. We sat out. It was kind of a ghost watch, but not a kind of a Mickey Mouse thing that you see
No,
on
no,
television.
no.
This-
I
we-
believe it.
They brought me into the hanging cell in Crumlin Road Jail.
Oh
and
dear God, how did you do that?
It wasn't easy. See, what happens is the hanging cell is not where they hang the people. What happens is that in the old Crumlin Road Jail, there's a room where they hang people, but when the body goes down,
dear
it goes
God.
into another room down below. And when the people go into the room down below and they cut the body down, the body lies there for a period. They call that
dear God.
they call that the
Well,
hanging cell.
Well, I can honestly tell you that I believed everything you said,
I believed everything I said too because I was looking. I could see it with my own eyes.
and you were paid for it as well.
Indeed, which was great. Listen, Rose, I don't want you to worry about the other thing because we'll get you somebody that has a similar condition. And
Right. The other wee thing is, right,
Yeah.
Tommy the cat.
We've got someone already, actually.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Tommy the cat. I have got a girlfriend for him.
Mm-hmm.
My wee cat is Rosie.
Rosie, yeah, okay.
And every time I listen to you, her wee ears prick up.
Ah.
So she's got a wee girlfriend.
Okay, I'll inform Tommy about it. Listen, we've got. Is this a male or female?
A gentleman.
We've got a gentleman who suffers from the same condition. We'll give you his number now. Okay.
Okay.
You hang on
that's
there.
grand. And listen, because I can't work anymore, but I listen to your program every day,
Oh,
and
God bless you, Rose. You're a wee, do you know what you are? You're a lovely wee dote.
I am a wee dote.
You are indeed. Okay,
I
love.
am a wee dote.
You look after yourself and talk to that man. You hang on the phone, and Sean will give you the number.
Okay. All right.
See you
all
later,
right.
love.
Bye, bye, love.
Bye. Bye.
There's another call there.
Oh, is there? Sorry.
Yes, Tom, too.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Gerry.
Yes, who's this? I wonder.
This is Stephen from Newry here.
Stephen, how are you?
I'm very well, Gerry. Listen, Geordie was looking snuff about 2 weeks ago, and I went out and got him some, and somebody had already got there before me.
Uh-huh.
So I'm now stuck with a small bottle of McChrystal's snuff.
Why don't you have a sniff of it?
No thanks, no.
Go on. Go
no,
on.
At the back it says the product can be addictive and damage your health. So I gave up smoking 20 years ago, so I'm not going to bother with that one. Would you be interested?
No, I can still smell me granny. No, do you know? Can you still smell your granny, Sean?
I'd never had a granny.
Oh, of course, you had 4 grandfathers.
No. What I mean is, I had 3 grandas.
You had immaculate conception.
No, three grannies and 2 grandas. That's right.
That doesn't work out, Dad. Did
No.
2 of them living with one of them, was there?
I had 3 grannies.
All right, then. Okay.
Well, anyway, Gerry.
But they were all dead. You see, I never.
But they were all
knew
dead
them.
before you got at them.
Yeah, I
You
never.
never
knew
had a
them.
granny that smelled of
or
snuff.
or a granda. No,
That explains the way you are
No,
today.
I never had a.
You're like a ship without a rudder.
Never knew them.
Although you have a rudder there, I don't like the look of it. One of the things that I think is important that a person would have a granny that smelt of snuff. Now, my granny smelt of snuff, and I used to sit and talk to her, and she'd be going, and you'd smell it all around the place. And I loved the smell. Even now, I love the smell, but you don't smell it anymore. I would love to just sprinkle some of it on my jacket,
No,
you know,
no.
and then I just kind of smell my jacket. But then people would be thinking it was quite odd a man smelled his own jacket.
Well, anyway, Gerry, if anybody wants a small tin of snuff,
All right, then.
I would happily post it to them.
Free of charge?
Free of charge.
Well,
God's sake.
why doesn't Jordy take it?
Well, did you offer it to him? But
Yes, I rang Geordie, and Geordie said he was overwhelmed with snuff.
Coming down with it.
Well, as far as I can hear, Geordie is overwhelmed by nearly everything, particularly cooking cherry. All right, then, I'm surprised he's refused that because I would say he'd get through a tin of snuff in about 10 minutes. Anyway, okay, let's introduce another person to snuff, or indeed a snuff user out there who wants another source of supply. There you are. That's a very generous offer. Thank you very much indeed.
Not at all.
Okay.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. You see, there's a man willing to give away snuff. Hello, Gerry.
Did you ask him how much it was?
I didn't. It's free.
I know, but how much did he paid for it?
I never asked
Was
him.
it expensive?
Do you know why I never asked him? Because I don't care.
I know.
I was pleased and surprised to hear you read my letter on the air, says Frank, who lives abroad. Sorry Mr. Coyle felt I was picking on him when it was Gerry Kelly's show I was really talking about. Apparently I read a letter concerning some criticism of yourself and Gerry Kelly. I just thought it would go with the other slagging that you've been giving him. But anyway, he said, I wrote like a girl. Do you remember saying that a man wrote like a girl?
I did.
Well, this is the man.
No, I asked, was that a girl?
Well, he implied that he wrote like a girl because I read out what he wrote, and then you said it's not a girl, implying that he wrote like a girl.
Well, I apologise.
I'm sorry. Don't worry, I'm not going to become a pain in the arse, he said, writing all the time. I just want to tell you this. When Jimmy McPeak called in to the programme, I couldn't help but share a story of my first visit to Detroit with the folk group. Apparently he played in a folk group, as indeed did Jimmy McPeak. The Irish club there showed us an old house they rented for band members to doss in. See, this is what used to happen. See, whenever you're in a band or a folk group and you visited places in America, especially with an Irish club or something like that, sometimes the people who owned the hall or whatever the venue was maybe would have a house that they would keep for their visiting bands if they had one. We used to live in one in Toronto and we wrecked it. Anyway, the Irish club here showed us to an old house they rented for band members to doss in. Looking around the place, I noticed a television propped sideways at an angle to the table. When I waggishly asked if it was tired or what, the fellow showing us around explained that Jimmy McPeak had been staying there with the previous group. I think they were called the Free Men. And what do you hear this? He set the TV, he took one of the two of the legs off the TV and set it on his side so he could lie on the couch and see the picture properly without bending his neck.
It's brilliant.
Isn't that unbelievable? You're probably asleep by now, but that stuff you said about Northern Ireland accent being similar to the US or Canada is very true. When I tell people here I'm from Belfast, they always say, but you don't have a brogue? When I tried out for a British voiceover narrator job, they told me I sounded too American. Yet when I'm over your way, all I hear is, "Cheers, boys, your voice hasn't changed at all."
I was speaking to a man who met you when you were in Canada
Yes.
in one of those houses.
Really?
And they were in a similar house. They were
Yeah.
a band as well.
Awful.
And they saw you and they said their heart went out to you
Yes,
because you looked as though you hadn't seen food in a year.
that's probably true.
You were
enough,
like
yeah.
nothing on earth.
Yeah.
And so they decided, now,
I remember that.
if
I
you
know what you're
remember,
going to say.
do you remember?
A steak. They got me a steak. Yeah.
That's correct. And they invited you up to their house.
Yes.
And this guy in particular, he prepared a steak and a dinner, and they got some beer, and they had
Yeah.
he's had a great get together. And he says that you could see the food in your stomach. You know,
Well, what did you name that guy? The generosity of him.
Michael O'Doherty.
Exactly.
Michael O'Doherty, the
The
Trend,
band called The
Trend
Trend.
show band.
They were very nice to
He
me.
said you could practically see the outline of the steak in your stomach.
See, food at that time was not a great priority with me. There were other things I was much more interested in. But I remember that steak, and I remember the generosity of that man and that band. And
Yes.
I say to them now, thank you, guys. You may have saved my life.
What did you live on then? Like food-wise?
Chips and vodka.
Ach, no, come on.
I'm telling you.
When you get up in the morning, or did you ever get up in the morning? Was there such a thing as a morning in your life? Was there
I
a
didn't see
breakfast? That's what I'm asking.
I didn't see a noon for 10 years. I'm going to tell you something now. I once ended up in a hospital in Dublin. This is before I moved to America. I was the only person that young doctor had ever treated who was suffering from malnutrition. And he said to me, this is the only case of malnutrition I've ever treated. And he said, how did you get this? I said, what do you mean? He said, do you live in an apartment or a flat? I said, yes. He said, do you eat? I said, no. He said, no, I'm serious. He says, what do you eat? I said, well, every once in a while I have a bag of chips.
What's your number there?
And he said, what do you do for a living? I said, I play in a band. And he says, well, tell me your routine. I said, well, we go away and we play all night and we may get a ham sandwich before we play, and then we get nothing afterwards. And then we travel maybe 7 or 8 hours, and then we get home at about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I go straight to bed, and I get up at 3. And then I get back into the van and we go away again. And sometimes we stop and get a bag of chips. He says, that's all you eat? I said, no, I drink vodka as well. Right. And he said, do me a favour, before you die, he said, go and get yourself some digs and find a woman who will feed you. So I went into digs, and the woman used to give you dinner every day. I never looked back. Then I went to Canada because I hadn't got the woman then, so I met them and I went back into my old ways. But I'm okay now. Yeah. You can see me now running marathons and everything. Just goes to show you, all you people out there, there's hope for you. I was down there, Sean. I was down there with me chips and me vodka. But I'll tell you what, I had great fun. This is from Robbie Robertson's new album, which is not out yet.
Got a ticket on the main line. I was stranded on the fault line. I got wasted on the moonshine. Too far gone. I was walking in the sundown. I was heading for the breakdown. When you're sleeping on the cold ground. Too far gone.
That's an old mate of mine, Robbie Roberts.
Yes.
That's a song called How to Become... No, it's called He Don't Live Here No More. That's the English is not great. And the album is called How to Become Clairvoyant, but it's not out yet. I'm not sure I like that acoustic guitar solo in the middle of that. That called for a big solo. That called for a big solo. Anyway, well, what a great album that will be, I think. You can hear the sound coming out of that, which is incredibly wonderful. Do you notice I had no idea how to finish that sentence there?
Yes.
Because I was looking at something and I said, I don't know when I talk about this. And that album, which I have called Northern Ireland Music 2011, I'm going to feature that today after the news. But here's the thing that...
Apparently that album, that what you played at the start of the programme.
Yes. Yes.
The
Northern Ireland Music 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it's out a year.
Oh, no. No, it's 2011, sorry. Oh, sorry, this is a new one, 2011.
Right.
I'm sorry, I misread that. You're very quick to correct me.
It's just the people are texting in. I don't know.
2010, there was one last year, of course. And the reason I said it was 2010, because that's what I remember always saying, it's Northern Ireland Music 2010. And then when I looked at this, I found it difficult to say Northern Ireland Music 2011, because I was so used to saying 2010. But there's all kinds of people on this, and I'm going to play some tracks after. Gold, Cashier Number 9, who are actually playing live in this programme on Friday. And other bands that I like are Cat Melodian, Wonder Villains, of course, and General Fiasco and Aaron Shanley. And the thing about this, most of these people have been on this programme live, and you've never met any of them.
That's because you take them to Belfast.
I do indeed. I don't think that people should be exposed to you in case they're discouraged from a life in music. I'll be back 4 minutes past 11.
On 92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
This is BBC Radio Ulster.
But first, at 11 o'clock, this is the BBC News with Keith Burnside. Scientists in Japan are trying to limit the effects of a second explosion at a nuclear power station which was damaged in the earthquake on Friday. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission has sent 2 experts to the Fukushima plant. Concern is now growing about rising temperatures at a third reactor. Our correspondent in Tokyo is Chris Hogg.
They've got 3 reactors now where they've got faulty cooling systems at that plant. They have had explosions at 2 of those reactors. The only piece of good news is that the containers that the reactors are in each of those different buildings, the containers seem to be holding. But now, of course, because they're having problems with this third reactor, there are concerns that we may see another explosion there. The other piece of, I suppose, better news is that the government is insisting that in terms of the levels of radiation they've detected around that plant, it's still very low levels.
More than 30 people have been killed in a suicide attack in North Afghanistan. The blast happened at an army recruitment centre in Kunduz province. A woman has died after a car crash in Uri yesterday. She was a passenger in one of 3 vehicles involved in the collision. A 20-year-old man who was driving one of the cars was also killed. He was Matthew Watson from the Rich Hill area. The police are appealing to anyone who was in the area of the crash at around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon to contact them. The first of a new fleet of 20 trains has arrived at Belfast docks. It will be put into service by the end of this year. The full fleet will be introduced next year. The new trains, together with those brought into service in 2005, will replace all the older trains currently in service. There's been an arson attack on a speed camera van in County Wicklow. It was parked outside Arklow when it was set on fire at around 7:30 last night. No one was injured. Becoming bright and sunny for some on the weather front, but not before a bang or two. Parabest has the latest.
Today we have showers and some will be quite heavy. Don't be surprised if there's some thunder and lightning thrown into the mix too. The cloud may be thick at the moment, but by the afternoon it will thin and there will be brighter and sunnier weather at times before nightfall. Temperatures today will stay just below average for the time of year at around 7 degrees with light winds, and by evening it will become much drier.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
In Belfast, the Middle Branniel Road has been closed because of the weather, and motorists are reminded to take extra care on the roads this morning as driving conditions are poor in a number of places. On to flights, and at the George Best Belfast City Airport, a number of flights have been affected because of the weather. This morning's flights from Glasgow, Manchester, Birmingham, Leeds, Blackpool, Isle of Man, Gatwick and Edinburgh have all been indefinitely delayed. The 25 to 10 East Midlands arrival has been diverted to Belfast International Airport, and the 6:15 Cardiff flight is expected at 7:30 this evening. Full details are available online at belfastcityairport.com. Aileen Moynihan reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback with Wendy Austin today, does everyone have a right to have a child? As a couple with learning disabilities fight to keep their children, today we're asking, who's fit to parent? Who should decide? If you've experience on this, call me at 12 or email or tweet at Wendy Talks Back. Lovable pooch or killer dog? A staffy wins best breed at Crufts. Will this help the dog's image? Now that the Queen's visiting Ireland, should Ireland join the Commonwealth? That's a question. And all quiet on the Eastern Front, of Belfast that is. Is that a sign that the Holy Land is sorted? Or has the problem moved elsewhere? Join me and join the debate on Talkback at 12.
Thanks, Wendy. No, it's down to the great hurley bat shortage.
Let's get wasted. It's all we ever do. We're so stupid. That's okay. The drunks are your friends. We'll just sit here, wasting our time, thinking aloud. But there's nobody listening. okay, the drunks are your friends.
That was General Fiasco, a song called Ever So Shy. This is Aaron Shanley.
I don't wanna give in, I don't wanna bleed out, I don't wanna look up, I wanna follow you down the staircase. I don't wanna crawl back, I don't wanna come loose, I don't wanna get lost, I wanna sit in the dark and stare at your face. You are the same as the tide, rushing in and pulling away, always out, and I'm standing on the beach. Do you think of things that'll help you to sleep? Do you ever wake up, or do you wanna believe you're still dreaming? The muscles are tight, the bones are crushed. When it comes undone, we'll tear it apart. We'll tear it apart together. 'Cause you are the same as the tide, rushing in and pulling away, always out, and I'm standing on the beach. And you are the same as the sky, opening up and closing again, always night, and we need a little grace. You are the same as the tide, rushing in and pulling away, always out, and I'm stranded on the beach. And you are the same as the sky, opening up and closing again, always night, and we need a little grace. Always night, and we need a little grace. Always night, and we need a little grace.
Aaron Shanley, next flight out. That's called it. Before that was no, I told you what that was before. A lot of concern. being
Crosswords. What? What?
A lot of concern being expressed by the listeners at my intention to run the marathon, but you didn't listen to my words carefully. What I said was I'm training for the marathon. That doesn't indicate that I expect to finish it. What it indicates is that I'm going to do it. I'll be there at the starting lineup, but I'm not going to kill myself. If after 18 or 19 miles I feel a little tired,
yes,
I'll stop. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to kill myself. I'm not going to run myself into the ground because I know I'm not as young as I used to be, and I know there are limitations upon my frame and body. And indeed, my joints may not be what they were. I can't roll them as well as I used to. But I'm going to be careful. I know they're worried about me because they're afraid they might be left with you. What a cruel thing to say. 2 tickets for the Commitments in concert on Thursday. Did you hear the Commitments on Friday? Did you hear that?
I did.
Yeah, thank you for that recommendation.
No, I did. I just.
You don't like saying anything about any Friday programme. You've never said that was really good on Friday. You've never said that.
I'm going to tell you something.
Oh,
Friday morning, I have things to do.
You're a lying wee shite.
I have things
You're
to
listening all the time in case I do something bad, and then you
not.
pull me up on it.
Sure, but so I saw it on television.
2 tickets for the Commitments in concert on Thursday.
Why did they not show a wee glimpse of you?
Because the camera was behind me.
Well, they should have showed a wee glimpse of your shoulder.
If they had, they would have seen mine.
Know the way I said shoulder.
I told them to don't be filming me because I'm getting a baldy head at the back.
There's a call.
I know there's a call. You wait. 2 tickets for the Commitments in concert on St Patrick's Night, Thursday the 17th of March, available in the Odyssey. Please contact the show, 08459 555 678. And incidentally, Ireland are playing England the weekend, aren't they? Rugby. Anyone out there got 2 tickets for that? give us a ring if you've got 2 tickets available. I've got a buyer for you. Ireland versus England, rugby, whatever they do. Well, they're not playing at the weekend there. I seen rough men running around the TV with an oval ball. What were they doing?
Playing rugby.
Who was playing who? It's all blurs and I can't watch anything because those people, footballers, they're just pussies. I can't watch those
Ireland
guys.
were playing...
I can't watch football anymore because all people falling down the ground in agony.
Scotland, I think.
I can't watch football anymore.
Was it Scotland or Wales?
It's all these Italians fall writhing around the ground. And
Wales.
What?
I think it was Wales.
So
Ireland were
they
playing
all look
Wales.
the same. They all look the same to me.
I don't know.
Gerry, I'm a bit worried about your marathon adventure. You're no chicken. But I wonder if I'm chicken, am I ordinary or am I extraordinary?
What about George?
Worst scenario, you're gone and we're left with him. I hope you've not been influenced by vodka on the rocks. What happened to your ship sailing from New York? Remember? Yes, we remember the Titanic, which we shall celebrate next year. Yesterday is water under the bridge. Tomorrow is what's in your fridge, says Samuel Duggan in Lurgan. Please play a special request for Gerry Kelly, the family butcher from Carrickmore, whose 50th birthday is today. Many happy returns from your fellow clay pigeon shooting mates. Morning, Roadrunner.
Did you ever watch clay pigeon shooting?
Yeah, it's very exciting. Any chance of a blast of chariots of fire? No, those days have gone. Oh, there's a blank page.
I used to watch men shoot on a Sunday morning.
Live men, real men?
Oh, I used to, yeah.
Black Box Theatre tonight from 7 p.m. Jazz Showcase, hosted by the Ulster Youth Jazz Orchestra, featuring 10 big bands from various schools and colleges. Great to see so many students playing big band jazz. Look at that. That'd be good tonight. Brilliant night if you like big band jazz. The Black Box Theatre tonight from 7 p.m. Jazz Showcase. Morning, Horsebake. Any tips for Cheltenham this week? Tell Scrawny Neck it's 2011. Morning, Roadrunner. No, we've had that before. I'm sorry. Chicken off the breast. There it is. Proof coming in. 30p extra. Brown chicken is leg meat. Right?
Right.
Chicken off the breast. Brown chicken is leg meat. There's a crude Chinese one here. I won't read that one. We used to take our 4 children on holiday to youth hostels during the 80s, early 90s. There were some attic rooms we stayed in where there were 18 beds in one room, memorably in Kong, where the quiet man was on a loop all day. No, that's the Ashford Castle. Were you ever in Kong, were you?
Unfortunately.
Were you and I in Kong?
No.
Well, what were you doing in Kong?
I went independently.
You mean you go places without me?
Yeah. I was bored to tears with it. I was so annoyed, so angry.
It's a beautiful little place.
No, it's not. Yes, it is. It is. Sorry,
but did you know the backstory about Kong? You know, what was it boring? There was nothing boring about Kong.
No, the whole quiet man theme. That's what I'm talking about.
No, but
you walk up around the corner and there's this wee cottage that was built 2 years ago. You know, it was supposed to be...
Oh, Morning Glory, or whatever you call
all
it.
That,
No,
and you go, what is this about?
No, you don't go near that.
Yeah.
No, but you know the interesting thing about Kong is the backstory, the simmering rivalry, which is still there between the two pubs.
Yes. One was a pub and the other wasn't.
Look at one
Yes,
another
we
across
know.
the street and they hit each other. And it's great. And there's a man with a hole in his jumper and a cat in his back.
What about George?
No, stop rushing me. Can't you see I'm getting on a roll here? Gerry, will you play that song by Southern that you played on Wednesday? I'm sick of asking you. No. Totally agree about that acoustic solo. Did you see Thin Lizzy on the Late Late Show on Friday night? The new lineup is great with 2 guys from Northern Ireland. Yeah, I think Ryan Tuberty has a problem with Northern Ireland, you know. I really do think he has. He won't talk about anybody from Northern Ireland. He won't talk about it.
I watched Gable last night.
Gable!
I was talking to Brenton O'Carroll.
Mrs. Brown, you've got a lovely daughter. Well, anything you want to add?
No, there's something I thought maybe you'd watched it because what I couldn't understand, and maybe you could shed some light on this. Right, Gay interviews Brenton O'Carroll.
Well, tell me, Brendan.
Right? And
What's it like to be a little
did you
fat
see it?
bald man?
Right, Janet saw it.
Yes.
Well, will you please tell me why did Brenton O'Carroll sit with his glasses on his forehead all through the interview, half an hour?
Because he probably thought it looked good.
Yeah, was that deliberate?
Yeah, well, you
That's
think
what
he
I
forgot
think.
about them?
Yeah, but you
No, but can you imagine? No, but
it annoyed me. It annoyed me.
All right, but here's television, right? Brendan
Janet says no.
Brendan O'Carroll is a man who's used to television.
Gabo knows all about television.
I can't do Gabe.
Go on,
do
it
Gabe.
doesn't matter anyway.
Go on, do Gabe. Go on, interview me. I'm Brendan O'Carroll. Go on.
But I can't.
Go on,
thank
go
you.
on.
Tell me, Brendan, tell me when you first became Mrs. Brown.
Well, it's very hard to describe now. I put on a skirt. I said to myself, Jesus, that looks great. So I said, I'll keep her on.
I'm not going there with you.
Go on, give us another question. Give
but
another
tell me,
question.
why did he...
Be Gabo.
Brendan, why are you sitting there with your glasses on the top of your head?
I saw Robert Redford doing it. I said to myself, I'll have a crack at that.
Is that the reason why? But why?
No, what happened there
I can't
is...
understand why
I know
he did
what
that.
happens. You see, Gabo's a man who knows his way around television. Brendan
Yes.
O'Carroll is a man who knows his way around television. A person who doesn't know his way around television sits there and he puts his glasses up. So the producer comes over and says, by the way, I think it'd probably be a little better if you take those glasses off. You see? But obviously somebody came over and said to Brendan, do you want to keep those on? He said, yeah, I want to keep them on like that.
Why?
Because he thought it looked good. He thought it
Janet
looked
said
good.
he was comfortable.
Exactly.
No, I wouldn't have minded had he taken the glasses down, used them to read something, and put them back up again. So that's why he's got his glasses.
No,
But he just had the glasses on, sitting on top of his head. It just spoiled the
I
whole...
think Brendan
spoiled the
O'Carroll.
interview for me.
Do you know what? I think Brendan O'Carroll's a fellow who doesn't care what anybody thinks. to
He
be
doesn't?
honest with you. Exactly. What about
Do you
the?
know? Do you know what? Can I say something?
Yes, you can.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
When I said to him, he was up here a couple of weeks ago, and I said to him, I was talking to him, and I says, how do you think your show will go down in England? How do you think? Can I tell you what he said?
But don't use that word.
Oh, no.
But just use an F.
No. It's what he said. He said, I said, I don't give a... He says, I've been paid.
That's the way we talk. We don't care what we do as long as they give us money.
George!
Wow, George! Great George.
What?
Morning, George.
Hello, Terry.
How are you? Sorry about that.
Terry, I remember I rang during last week here about the lost wallet.
Yes.
Just rang Sean there to let him know that he got it back.
Oh, excellent. Well, tell me the circumstances. What happened?
The money was missing, Terry.
Oh, well, you can't have everything, yeah?
There was a bookie stocker in it worth about £300. He was able to get that back. He went into bookmakers and wrote the ticket out again, so we got that back. But he was glad to get it because he knew his driver's license and all your things in it, all his cards and things.
Oh, yeah, it's a serious disruption if you lose your wallet because your whole life is gone. It's almost like losing your mobile. If you lose your wallet and your mobile phone, you may as well put a gun to your head.
He wasn't more concerned about the money. It was the cards and things, Terry, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, well, it's good to hear that. Thanks for letting us know.
Thanks, Terry, for everything.
Excuse me, has he still using a wallet?
I don't know, Sean. I'll let you know.
Because this is the second time he's lost his wallet, isn't it?
Yes.
So
I wasn't able to tell you where it was. It was Chapel Lane.
Right. Okay.
Just find out. No round about there.
Mm-hmm. But
I was posted back to the house with just a number. Knew the number on it.
That was good then. That was good.
So he was lucky getting that back anyway.
I wonder why the guys didn't get into the bookies to cash the slip.
I just think about why they wouldn't have done that.
Why?
Because the fellow would have alerted the bookies that the slip has been stolen. If anybody cashes it, they'd arrest them.
But sure, it's someone else could have the same bet.
Never thought of that.
You see? All right. Okay.
All right then. Okay. All right. Are you finished now?
Well, yeah, it's George. Okay,
Yes.
Okay, George. That's
Thank
good.
you, George.
Thanks, sir.
Right,
Thanks,
George.
Sean.
See you later.
Bye. Bye.
Marie's on too.
Is she? Hello, Marie.
Good morning, Gerry.
Hello. Good morning.
I have a sad story.
Oh dear. What's that?
It's about my wee dog.
Oh.
And I know that you love dogs.
You've come to the right place for sympathy.
Well, I hope to get it. But I have two things that I want to ask you to put out on the air for me.
Yeah.
On Saturday night, we live on the Upper Dunmurray Lane, just at the crossroads.
Yeah.
And about 9:15 on Saturday night, two policemen knocked the door, asked me had I a wee dog, and I said yes. He said, is he out? I said yes. I just left him out to do what he had to do.
Yes, what she has to do. Yes.
They said, well, we think we've got bad news for you.
Ah.
Apparently, two chaps who were standing outside the local bar just across the street from me had seen the wee dog lying in the middle of the road and put it onto the pavement just outside our house.
It was struck by a car, obviously.
And we don't know.
Okay.
We don't know whether he was struck by a car or whether he just collapsed.
Ah.
Okay? So first of all, anybody who knows anything about it. Secondly, and more importantly, as the policemen who were fantastic, by the way, as they were passing and putting the wee dog into a bag of all things, four children were passing, and they obviously had seen the wee dog about the district before, And 10 minutes later, these 4 children knocked the door. Of course, my husband and I were absolutely distracted, and stood in the front porch, and they said, very, very sorry about your wee dog. And they had a bunch of flowers and a box of chocolates.
They had not, had they?
They did indeed.
Oh, my God.
They did, and honestly, I can't believe it. The thoughtfulness and the kindness of those wee children.
What age were they?
I would say they were about 11, 12, 13. There was 3 girls and a boy.
They've obviously said to their mummies and daddies, you see, and maybe
they
said...
were passing whenever all this was happening.
Uh-huh.
And they'd obviously, Tesco's is just across the road from us, and they'd obviously just so thoughtful, they went over to Tesco's and obviously spent their pocket money.
Do you think they did that? Oh, it's
they
fantastic.
Did that. Those children did that.
It was not a great story when you hear all about these wee hoodies and these wee grub sheds.
Exactly.
And suddenly you hear a nice thing like that.
Exactly, which is why I wanted to put this out. And if any of them, obviously they're at school, and they won't hear this now, but if any of their parents are listening, I really want to thank them and congratulate them on bringing up such beautiful, beautiful children.
And where is that again? What area is that?
We live in Upper Dunmurray Lane, number 11.
Okay. All right then,
it's
thank you
just
for
at
that.
the crossroads.
Thank you for that.
Okay?
Yes.
And thank the policemen and everybody who helped.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Gerry.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
She's got a smile that it seems to me reminds me of childhood memories when everything was as bright as the bluest sky. Now and then when I see your face, it takes me away to that special place. But if I stare too long, I probably break down and cry. Sweet child of mine. Oh, sweet child of mine. Her hair reminds me of a warm, safe place where I sit child I hide and pray for the thunder and the rain to quietly pass me by. And she's got eyes of the bluest sky, as if they thought of rain. I hate to look into those eyes and see an ounce of pain. Oh, sweet child of mine.
Sweet Child of Mine, that's originally recorded by Guns N' Roses. That's an alternative version recorded by... I don't know who's recorded that, because it just says the track. I don't know who recorded it. I'll find out for you and let you know later. You see that?
Yeah. By the way, Dorothy's nervous and she wants you to be easy on her.
Where is she?
She's on 1.
Good morning, Dorothy.
Good morning, Gerry.
You okay?
I'm fine, yeah.
Go ahead.
A wee bit nervous about speaking to you.
You're all right.
It's something that I'm looking for. It's the discs and the shredders for a Magimix food processor model number 2800S automatic. I have mislaid mine after, house renovation. I just can't find them.
You got that,
I was wondering if any of your viewers out there would, or your listeners would have some that I could buy off them or whatever.
Okay. That spluttering you heard was Mr. Coyle. Now, I need that detail again because you skimmed over it quite quickly. Well, what is it again?
A Magimix
food processor 2800F automatic discs.
S for Sean.
It's not F. You're getting the wrong
F
blade.
for
You're
Sean.
going to get Dorothy the wrong blades. It's 2800S.
S for Sean.
S. You see, not an F. An F's no good.
S.
All right, I've got it. Okay, that's it. Magimix food processor 2800S automatic discs. All right then. Anyone who's got that, give us a ring. 08459 555 678. All right, love.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye. That was very hard for me.
Yes, you handled it very well. William's on 1.
I handled it like a normal person. That was very difficult for me.
Yes.
Because she was nervous and I didn't want to,
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hello, good morning.
Two.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Gerry. Gerry, it's William here, and I wanted to, the reason why I rang your station was, Gerry, maybe you could help me.
Yes.
I was looking, could you put me in contact with one of George's best relatives? And the reason being, I was doing a bit of clearing out yesterday, Gerry, to my house, and I'm a fan of Manchester United. I have been for years, and I've collected a lot of memorabilia.
Yes.
And also, my uncle who lives in Liverpool has sent me a load of stuff over the years. Anyway, I was doing a bit of clearing out yesterday, and I opened one of these programs. I take it that he had sent me a number of years back.
Uh-huh.
And I dropped this letter addressed to a fella called Reg, who I believe was a sports correspondent for the News of the World in 1966.
Yeah.
And it has been wrote, I take it it's signed by our Best, which I take it as Dickie Best, is Bod, who has wrote this letter to this fella Reg, thanking him immensely for his write-ups about George in the newspapers.
Really?
And he says that he would like to meet Reg in the future and so forth and so forth. And I just haven't got the letter with me at the minute,
Oh,
or
that's
could I read
okay.
you, But I thought it was very, very interesting, Gerry, that this letter, and I don't remember getting it off my uncle, but it must have been in one of the programs, and I've overlooked it at the time.
Probably. You don't remember ever seeing that before?
No, but it has been in my home maybe for a number of years. But I think it's very important that maybe one of the George's sisters have a look at it and read it, because it's so nice of a letter that I believe their fella wrote to this fella Reg. And it's dated 1966. There's 2 stamps and everything in the front of it, Gerry. And I think it's very, very important that I found it and that the family see it,
Oh, yes, and I'm sure if anyone's listening who connected with George, I'm sure they'd let them know, and by all means, ring me and we'll put you in touch with them by all means. And
that's fine, Gerry, because I think it's something that a lot of people see. It's a lovely letter, and I take it is by Dickie, the father, to this fella Reg. Apparently he was a sports correspondent with the News of the World,
Dickie's the loveliest wee man, He was the loveliest wee man. And he was very, very fit and very at himself. I think the death of George broke his heart, because he only survived a couple of years after that. And,
sorry, Gerry.
No, you go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and at the end of it, it's actually 2 pages, but written on both sides, and it's signed our Best, So I'm just presuming that it's Dickie Best,
Richard, yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
I remember a great wee story actually, which was I remember doing this TV program one time, and there was a fellow working on it, and George, I was supposed to interview George, which I did, and he was great. I interviewed him a couple of times, and he was a really nice guy. George was 2 people: George Sober, who was lovely, and George Sober, who was not lovely. But that's the way he was, and everybody knew that, and he knew that himself, and he made no bones about it. He just,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He just said to himself, "This is the way I intend to live my life, and I'm a wee bit nasty when I get drunk, but that's the way I be." And anyway, Dickie George sometimes would come home, you see, and he'd disappear, you know. And he wouldn't maybe go home right away, although he was very good like that. But every once in a while, you know, he mightn't show up when he was supposed to show up. He'd get the plane in at 4, and there'd be no sign of him, kind of thing, you see. So we Dickie, God rest him, he rang up and he said, is George there? I said, no, George hasn't arrived yet. Well, he's not due to be here until about like 7 o'clock or whatever it is. And this is like about 5 or 6. And I said, he should have been, no, he flew in about 1 o'clock. You know, he should be. I said, well, I don't know where he is. I said, well, could you give him a message? And he said, yeah, but I mightn't see him until night, you know. I said, that's okay. No, but that's what it's about. He said, it's a very important message. So the fellow began to get a wee bit worried about it. He says, yeah, of course I'll give it to him. And I said, now, will you make sure you give him this message? It's very important he knows this. And the fellow said, okay, what is it? He said, tell him the key is under the mat. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was lovely.
Very good. Well, Gerry, I just thought you'd like to hear that. And maybe if you could pass my number on to maybe one of the family, you know.
Certainly will. If Barbara or anybody listening, give us a ring and we'll pass on your number. Certainly.
Gerry, I appreciate that. Thanks for your time.
Jim McDowell has contacted the programme, Gerry. Yes. Jim McDowell's contacted the programme and asked William, would William contact Jim? He's friends with the family.
William, that's Jim McDowell, the editor of the Sunday World.
Right,
will you contact him because he knows Barbara and all those people?
Right, I'll be in contact with Jim sometime during the day, Gerry. And once again, thanks very much for your time.
Not at all. You have his number, Sean, don't you?
Yes.
You hang on there. Sean will give you Jim's number.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you
Gerry, thanks very much indeed. Thank you.
Bye.
Soul, it feels near and it's here to stay, but you're on your own. The waves wash the rest away. How did it ever come to this? Nobody seems to care. How did it ever come to this? There's so much better out there. I won't take this down life is. I won't give up the fight. I won't take this down life is. Won't you sing with me tonight? We can make this. We've had something from the start. We could take this to a place apart. Soul, it feels near, yeah, it's here to stay, but you're on your own. The waves wash the rest away. How did it ever come to this? Nobody seems to care. How did it ever come to this? There's so much better out there. I won't take this golden life is. I won't give up the fight. I won't take this golden life is. Won't you sing with me tonight? We can make this. We've had something from the start. We could take this to a place apart. I won't take this golden life is. I won't give up the fight. I won't take this golden life is. Won't you sing with me tonight?
This is a band called the Electric Moccasins. From Kerry Duff. Bunch of young guys. Or maybe it's Crossgar.
We can't make this. We've had something from the start. We could take this to a place apart. We can't make this. We've had something from the start. We could take this to a place apart. We can't make this. We've had something from the start. We could take this to a place apart. We can't make this. We've had something from the start. We could take this to a place apart.
That's the Electric Moccasins, as I said. They're not on that album, Music from Northern Ireland 2011, the double album, but they should be. That's a song called A Place Apart. Someone on the line here, you say?
Yes, please. Yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Where are they now, I wonder?
One, I think.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Gerry.
Yeah. Oh, yes, how are you?
Not so bad, and yourself?
I'm all right, thanks.
Good. I was very interested to hear you talking about the chicken curry there, the white chicken and the brown chicken.
Yes.
That must be a northwest thing, is it?
It is.
Because you don't have that in Belfast.
I don't think so.
No.
I think we're talking about levels of poverty here.
Yeah.
You see, once you start to differentiate between, once you regard white chicken as being a luxury, I think you're talking about a standard of living that isn't terribly high.
Oh no.
It's about not having much, basically, and but I think it's good. I like it.
But another thing I noticed, while I live in Belfast, I travel up to Donegal, and on the way through Derry Stroke Londonderry, I was stopped at Drumahoe for something to eat. There's a wee takeaway there.
Yes.
And I was in that one day, and the lady came in and she asked for a red fish. And I hadn't heard of a red fish before. So while she was waiting, I said, "Excuse me, can you tell me what a red fish is?" And she says, "Oh, it's actually smoked fish."
That's right, yeah.
A red fish, says, I'm from Downpatrick. She says, "It was always smoked with us in Downpatrick, but up here," she says, "it's red."
It's a red fish, yeah.
So I hadn't heard of that before.
Oh, no, there's plenty of things you've never heard about up here that you'll hear when you come up here. My favourite one has always been when you go into the bakery and the people warn you that the buns have got fresh cream in them.
Yeah.
You don't want that fresh cream, you know.
Jeez, no, I don't want them. No, give me the shite, the stuff with the ordinary cream on it. Oh, no, I don't want that fresh cream. That's good. No, take that away. Oh, for God's sake. Thanks for warning me. That's like going into the shop and saying, "Listen, we've got some apples here, look, and they're just in today, but you don't want them. Here's ones that have been in for 2 weeks. Look, take them. They're great."
Yeah. Just going back a few days ago, did Sean say something about somebody went into a shop and asked for a flashlight?
Yes, did you mention that, Sean, in the course of your perambulations last week? Someone went into the shop and asked for a flashlight?
Well, I think, yes, we called them flashlights.
We're talking about the things that you don't hear anymore.
Wee boys, yes.
Yeah. I mean, do you know what's going to die out? When was the last time you heard somebody asking for a box of matches?
I always wanted a policeman's torch. Did you ever hear of a policeman's torch?
So you were hit over the head with it?
No, did you ever, when you're a wee boy, did you ever, was it Jim? Jim?
What?
Did you ever want a policeman's torch, or was that...
No.
That was the black torch with a sort of a rubber coating on it.
No, that's what's called a
cloche. When I was a wee boy, I lived in Donegal, and the guard of barracks was right beside us.
Right.
But they didn't have a big black torch like that.
We always want that. You were made if you had a policeman's torch. That was the elite. Mm-hmm.
Well, there's all kinds of words that are disappearing. For instance, typewriter. When was the last time you heard somebody using the word typewriter? And things like flash lamp and box of matches. And can you think of anything else off the top of your head? When was the last time you heard somebody, have you got a box of matches?
Well, see, I don't.
The only thing that people
I don't
use,
smoke them. Have no fires.
I know, but
therefore I
didn't ask you that.
matches.
I didn't ask you if you smoked. I asked you when was the last time you heard somebody asking for a box of matches. I'm asking you that. Or saying, do you have a box of matches on you? Nobody ever says that anymore.
Because you don't go into wee shops.
No, but people just say, have you got a light on you? But people actually used to say, instead of saying, you've got a light, say, you've got a box of have you a match on you?
In Derry, they say, have you a light now?
What?
Have you a light now?
Light now? I never heard that.
Yes. Have you a light now?
Oh, yes. Have you light no?
Have you light no?
Oh, yeah. Have you light no?
Have you
Yes.
light no?
Yeah, have you light no? Yeah. Or have you match on you? People don't say that.
You match
have you
no?
match on you? No,
Jerry,
have you
what I
match
was
no?
going to tell you, what I was going to tell you about a flashlight after I heard Sean talking about that. I didn't know what a flashlight was. I got a new telephone recently, one of these smart things.
Yeah.
And I hit the menu button the other day looking for something. And one of the options, one of the, whatever they call them, on the screen was flashlight.
App. That was one of your
an
apps.
App, yes.
Yeah.
And if you press that, the torch came on the back, the flashlight. So the flashlight is still around.
Well, I love one of those.
Another thing, I went into a filling station one day. We wanted to light a fire in the winter time, and I wanted something to light the fire with. And I went in for a box of fire lighters, and I asked the girl, "Have you any kindling?" And she says, "What? What do you mean?" I says, "Kindling. What's that?" I says, "You know the things wee bits of wood." "Oh, you mean sticks?"
Sticks. Well, you see, Kindlings come back in fashion because of Kindle, of course. That's what they call the new e-books. Kindle.
And by the way,
because they stop and finish and talking here.
Well,
I'm talking here.
I just want to tell
I'm
you
talking here.
that they have white chicken and brown chicken in the Shankill Road in Belfast.
Oh, do they?
Yes. So
well,
it's
they don't
not
have
just
it
a
in Cherry
northwest
Valley,
thing.
where I live.
Oh, don't have it in Cherry Valley. Well, it's up the Shankill. So if it's up the Shankill, it's up the Falls.
The Hidden Ankle.
I'm talking here. Talking here. Anyway, thank you very much, sir.
No, did you say you lived in Sackville Street?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I was born there, yes.
I used to go to school in Londonderry, Stokederry,
Yeah.
and the bus depot was in Great James Street, just on the other side.
That's right, Loxwelly Bus. I used to play in there.
Yeah.
Do you know there was a machine in there and you used to bring out strips with your name on it and you used to put
That's
it on
right.
your bicycle?
That was a penny.
That's right.
I used to use that too.
We used to practically live in the waiting room.
Aye.
Because it was the only place that was warm.
You're probably vandalising the place when I was there too.
We never vandalised. The only thing we used to vandalise, there was a little bakery next door called Brewster's, and they had little electric vans.
Yes.
And we used to break in at night and drive them around.
No. That was in Little James Street, was it?
Exactly.
There was a cafe in Sackville Street called the XL.
I know it very well. I used to be down there all the time. The waitresses used to wear little white things on top of their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was lovely, and you couldn't hear a sound in it.
And there was a lovely butcher shop there called Gallagher's.
That was my local butcher's.
Aye.
They knew me well, and they had a brass rail inside, no, a chrome rail inside that I used to do acrobatics on.
Yeah.
And they had a seat. You used to be able to sit down and wait for your meat.
What do you call it? What do you call the pub restaurant near the Brewster's end of Sackville Street?
Pub restaurant.
Savoy.
Oh, absolutely, Savoy Grill.
Savoy Grill, yes.
Well, I used to get that man's papers every Sunday.
That was a very famous place,
Dan McCool, he was the man who owned it. I used to wait for him every Sunday morning. He'd say, "Here, boy!" And I used to go and get his newspapers, and he used to always give me a shilling just to keep me going. That'd get me in the movies 4 times during the week. Ah, those happy days.
I used to go into Brewster's to get a loaf to take home over the border. And when you got it was still hot, still steam coming out of it.
That's right, because they used to bake it there and everything. It was wonderful. And then you could get stale bread the next day for half nothing.
I used to pull bits out of the end of it and eat it on the way home. But when I got home, there was just a hole with a loaf with a hole up the centre of it.
And then there was a shop at the top of the street with an awning on it. There was a sheltered place called Galt's Grocery Shop. All the hookers used to stand in there.
That's right, I remember Galt.
They were all friends of mine. Anyway, see you later.
Okay, Jerry.
Thank you. You hear me getting into all that?
I heard you. Are you appearing at the Foyle Yarn Spinners tonight?
Oh, yeah, it's only a little tiny thing. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, what? What do you mean? Tell me more.
I'm just going to read me bits.
At the Verbal Arts Centre tonight
Verbal
in
Arts Centre,
Derry at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing? Tell me.
I'm not. Be very careful about this, Sean. Now, this is the BBC. I'm not earning any money for this, of course. You understand that?
Yeah. Right.
That's on Friday night.
But you're there tonight.
I am.
And what? Reading from your e-book?
My 2 large books.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
That's a
wee
terrible
Kind
endearment.
of,
No, it's
not wee book. Kind of, belittles it.
Eh?
I'll be telling stories. Some of whom are true.
They're flying in from everywhere. Janet said to go to this tonight.
Yeah, she's so sarcastic.
No, she's not. She's serious. She's serious. You can't take a compliment.
No, I can't because I know that it's not meant.
Eh? Robert Janet said.
What?
On 1.
What?
2. Oh, 2.
See, I don't trust anybody. I knew it wasn't 1. Hello, I knew it was 2. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Is that you, Gerry?
Yes, Robert, you're very loud. Hold on a second, I'll turn you down a bit. There you go. Off you go. Off you go.
I'm a rich man. I went to a minister.
Yes.
The people were calling me stingy when everybody knows when I die I'm leaving everything to the church, Gerry.
Well, I sincerely hope so. Yes, the church deserves it. By the way, what a great drama on last night, BBC Northern Ireland, about a hairy subject, basically. Brendan, did you see that, Sean?
I did indeed.
And there's another one on tonight. It's fantastic.
It was absolutely
fantastic.
It's such a sad story.
BBC Northern Ireland
but
should be proud of themselves for doing that.
fantastic. Absolutely.
Should be proud of themselves for doing
and
that.
to all the actors and
Yeah.
the people involved in it too as well.
Even Paddy Jenkins.
Paddy, good friend of this programme. Fair play
Absolutely.
to Paddy.
Yeah,
Hey, Gerry,
Yes, yes.
do you know what the minister said to me?
Kerry Quinn?
No, the minister.
Sorry, I'm just talking about one of the other actors. It was really good.
The minister said to me, let me tell you about the pig and the cow.
Yes.
He said the pig wasn't popular while the cow was loved. This puzzled the pig.
Yes.
People speak warmly of your gentle nature and your sorrowful eyes, said the pig to the cow.
Uh-huh.
They think you're generous because each day you give milk and cream.
Yeah.
But what about me, Gerry? I give them everything. I've given bacon and ham. I provide pistols for the bushes. They even pickle my feet.
Yeah.
Yet no one likes me. Do you know what the cow answered?
I can't begin to think. What?
It's because what I still am still living, Gerry, you know.
Right.
Gerry,
is that a
tell
joke?
me
Sean, is that a joke?
No.
Gerry.
I don't know what this is
I don't know
about.
what
I have no idea. what this is
Yes,
about.
yes.
What has politicians and nappies got in common?
Oh, no, they're
Thank
both
you
fun.
very
Yes,
much.
thank you. Yes,
Thank you very much. Yes, I think we know the answer to that one. Good. See, it's very seldom you have to turn guys up, but sometimes you have to.
Kathy Mann.
Yeah.
In Malayal.
Yeah.
Kathy's celebrating her birthday. Lots of love to her from all her family.
Absolutely. Great shows last week, kid. On Friday, Tommy, my cat, and I jived along to the Commitments like one cool cat and a rat bag. Tommy stopped in the middle of his jive and yelled, "Hey, man! Stall the wedding," because he'd been listening to the little programme. What's the difference between the Commitments and the Commandments? The Commandments were written by God, I said. Roddy Doyle wrote the Commitments. So it's just a difference of authorship, said Tommy. Let me add a small caveat, I replied. The Commitments were written by Roddy Doyle and directed by Alan Parker. Tommy stood there wearing 37 petticoats under his frock, screwed up his little face, and said, "Who directs the Commandments, Jen?" "Any headbanger with a big mouth and a Bible," I said. A few seconds later, I said, "Now let's rock! I feel a James Brown moment coming on. I'm going to boogie on down and bring it on home." Tommy rang for the Poe, but it was too late. Not wishing to be seen as too eager, I never applied for the job as chief stoker at Black and White's foundry. Nevertheless, when the job went to Mrs. Aruba Cuba from Roten Street, I was fit to be tied. What kind of a world do we live in, I roared, where one has to apply for a job to have any chance of getting it? I picked up my BT cordless, toothless, cross-community phone to give the ombudsman 1.5% of my mind. His wife said, "He was out in the garden kicking next door's cat because he never applied for the job either." "Vent!" yelled Tommy. "Vent! For too long you've been toting that old bait of cotton behind you. I hear the freedom train a-coming," roared Tommy. "Oh, Lord!" screamed Tommy. "Lead us to the water and make us drink. Let me sit in the bonnet of the bus." "Oh, Lord!" screamed Tommy. "Someone's knocking at my door. It's old man Trouble." "It was always like this," I yelled. "I used to live in Cloud9. Look what happened. They took it away in the back of a lorry. Jim Rogers said it was a traffic hazard." "Please take me away," I roared. "I can't live in a world without love." Tommy, quoting, who sang A Word Without Love? Who sang Word Without Love?
Please, Peter Gordon.
Peter Gordon. Tommy threw back his outraged feline head, stood there like Etta James and roared, "I'd rather go blind." I threw a big black blanket over the soulful Tommy and went to my bed. You can get too much of a bad thing.
Can you believe the flames are catching on? Can you believe the love's not? Will you meet me in heaven when the trumpet sounds? Will you meet me in heaven when the trumpet sounds? Will you meet me in heaven when the trumpet sounds? Don't make me say it again, boy. Don't make me say it again, boy. Don't make me say it again, boy. Don't make me say it again, boy.
What a great record. That's another Northern Ireland band called More Than Conquerors. That's called Go On, Get Out. That's from that album, double album, Northern Ireland Music 2011. Check that out. It's really fantastic. I love it. Played about 5 tracks today and each one better than the last. A line, a call here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Just we've only got 2 minutes left, love. I hope that's enough for you.
I hope so too.
Okay.
It's just to tell you that someone broke into my house about 3 weeks ago and they stole my 2 Chihuahua dogs.
Oh, for God's sake.
One is a year and a half and the other's about 4 or 5 months.
Is that all they took?
And that was all they took.
Well, obviously that's what they
and
wanted.
I would be more than delighted if they would give me them back again. I'm a pensioner, I'm 74 years of age, and they were my company.
What kind of scumbag would do something
Well,
like that?
you tell me.
My God.
I know.
I mean, that's like stealing a baby.
Oh, yes,
It's, it's almost the same. I mean, I imagine you regard those wee dogs like the same way as
they
if
were
they-
my
Yeah, of
friends.
course they were. And were you living on your own?
I do, yes.
Oh, for God's sake. And where did this happen, roughly?
It happened on the Hill Hall Road in Lisburn.
Well, you see, they'll want to sell them on, you know.
Oh, yes. I
So, Hill Hall Road in Lisburn. So, anyone who's offered a wee chihuahua, 2 of them, did you say?
2, yeah.
Oh, don't buy them. Ring the police immediately. If anyone approaches you saying, do you want a wee chihuahua? Well, what age were they again?
One was a year and a half, and the other was about four months.
Were they related? Terribly. Were they related at all? I mean, were they?
No.
Okay.
No.
But I bet you they were the best of friends.
And they are chipped.
Oh, they're chipped?
Yeah.
Oh, even better. Even better.
Yeah.
All right, then. So anyone who sees anybody looking about a couple of chihuahuas, trying to get rid of them, doing whatever, or if you see any wee chihuahuas wandering around, shouldn't be wandering around. Please,
they wouldn't.
Who would they ring now? Do you see something, if a wee dog is chipped? Supposing I got a wee dog and I brought it in, how would I find out? What would I do?
If it was taken to the vet or if it was taken to the pound, they have a wee monitor and they put it over their coat and the number comes up and the number tells them the dog belongs to so-and-so.
Okay, then, love. Okay, anyone out there, keep your eye. We have to go now, love. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank
That's all.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.